Hi, my name is Jess and this is episode 7 of Knitting on Sweater Avenue. This is a podcast where I talk about what I've recently finished, everything I've been knitting on, new cast-ons and any yarn acquisitions I have. And we've made it to episode 7, so I'm kind of excited about that. It's mid-January. I don't actually know what day it is, but I think I'll probably post this around the end of January. But I'm going away at the end of this week, so I wanted to film it now and then I can edit it and post it because I don't really need anything to edit it, just like my iPad. And then I'll post it towards the end of January, and then I thought I'd record another one when I get back because I think I'm going to have quite a lot of time to knit when I'm on holiday. I'm going to start with what I'm wearing. This is the double cross top by Carissa Lamb in the Erica Knight studio linen. Mine's very short. It's it's not very long, but I like the fit, and it's for a summer in Australia. It's great because it's very easy breezy, loosey goosey without being too revealing, I think. I have one finished object and a bunch of whips that you've seen before, and then I do have one new cast on, but I think I said I wasn't going to cast anything on until I finish things, and I guess I have technically finished something, I sort of don't feel like this one counts, but I'll explain it when I get there. But my finished object is my socks, and I had this one finished in blocking, so it's actually done, but I finished this one last night. And I just sort of wanted to show the difference between unblocked and blocked because I think it's really interesting. So this is my unblocked sock, and this is the one on the blocking, one is on my blocking mat, my sock blocker, and if I pull it off, this is what it looks like off the sock blocker. So it's just a lot less wrinkly, I guess. So this is Olivia and Oliver fibres sock yarn in elderflower, and I knit the Crazy Sock Lady socks on 9-inch circulars. I do a 64 stitch cast on, and I use 2.25mm needles. And then for this one, I did a 2x2 ribbed cuff, 20 rows, and then I shifted to a 3x1 rib for the leg. And then when I moved on to the foot, I only did the 3x1 rib on the top of the foot, not the bottom. But I also moved the decreases so that they sort of fit in with the 3x1 rib. So that's a rib, and this is the decreases that are just 3 stitches away from the next purl stitch. Just, wanted it to look even, I guess. And then when I got to the toe, I decided to not, so I stopped the rib at the toe, if you can sort of see that. I decreased, for the toe, the only difference is I did the decreasing as the Crazy Sock Lady mentions, everything the same except I only decreased to 10 stitches on each needle. I sort of don't really, I did it once and I liked it, and then I don't really think about it when I'm knitting. So this is my train knitting. So I knit it on the way to work, and then if I'm in meetings or I've got things to do that don't require me to be actually typing, then I'll knit on socks or something that I don't have to think of. Oh my goodness, I'll knit on socks or something I don't have to think about, just for a few, just to keep my hands busy so when I'm in a meeting. But yeah, so that is my only finished objects, or I suppose set of finished objects, and I'm gonna go block this one now so that they both look neated nice and one of them doesn't look kind of weird and scraggly. But yeah, that's my one finished object. I have a bunch of whips, and I'm just going to start with the one which is closest to me, which is my Leith cardigan by the creabea in double Sunday. I don't think the only way I've changed the pattern is in the button band, and I'll explain that in a second. But other than that, it's I followed the instructions. So I think it's on a 4mm needle for the body, and then a 3.5mm needle for the sleeves. I did an Italian bind off, and I did an Italian cast on, because you knit bottom up on the body and then pick up the sleeves and go down. The one difference I've made is, and last time I had started my button band separate to the cardigan, and I had sort of gotten, I'd gotten past where I am now. So I had buttonholes, and I was, just sort of doing that, except I was going to have to sew it on, and I just wasn't super happy with how it was going, and I didn't know, I just wasn't happy. So I undid the whole thing, and I decided to do it attached. What's it called? Like a pick up and knit button band. And I followed the Petite Knit, the video, which is by like Kimmy Munkholm or something. I followed her video for the champagne cardigan on how she did it, and how she did that just like to get the cast on at the bottom. And then I have done my buttonholes, and it's looking a little bit, I suppose, similarly to the socks. It's not blocked yet, so definitely will improve a little bit. But the main thing that I have done differently to that pattern as well is, and I'm actually kind of excited about this, in all of these patterns that I've seen where you have to pick up the stitches for the cardigan, like for the button band, they make you pick up all the stitches, break the yarn, and then go back to the start and cast on new stitches, etc., etc. And that's sort of fine, and what I'm doing will have the same effect, but I'm finding it easier. And that is, I have my twisted ball of yarn, and my ball of yarn here, and I am pulling from both ends. And from one end, I am picking up new stitches. So I have picked up only this many stitches. Oops, so you can see, like, there's my yarn and there's my needle, and I've only picked up this many stitches. And then I have my button band stitches here as well, and that's sort of all connected. So with my little circular needle that I'm using, I can pick up stitches when they're all like this, and then I knit back and forth on the button band stitches. And it means I don't ever have that many that I'm working with, so this still works. I can knit here pretty comfortably. And it sort of means that I can do it in like little chunks, and if I get sick of double knitting, then I can go pick up some more stitches, and but anyway, so that's what I have done, and so far it's worked brilliantly. And obviously if I run out of yarn, I'll have to join new yarn, but that's fine by me. I can just weave it in. So I have gotten back to, I've done all of my buttonholes marked by my little markers. It is looking a little bit wibbly wobbly, so I'm a bit worried about whether or not I should have picked up every stitch. But then I'm thinking, well, my logic is, the button band's being knit on 3.5mm needles. The body was knit on 4mm needles. So double knitting the button band should be fine, because I'm picking up every stitch. So I think part of the problem is I'm still dealing with the like slightly scraggly yarn, because I undid it and now I'm redoing it. The other side, other than some ends to weave in, looks pretty nice. You can see the buttonholes more clearly on the other side. I'm following the Maud Tees instructions, which I think there is a video about, but the gist is, so I have, how many stitches in my buttonhole? Because I also just did a random number. I think I have 13. Yeah, I have 13 stitches in my buttonhole, button band. And so on the right side, I knit 5 as seen. So, in my case, it's knit one, slip, knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one, knit one. Then I knit the next 2 together, and then I slip them back to the left needle and knit 3 together. And then keep going across, and then on the way back I use the backwards loop method to cast on 3 new stitches at that same point. and then continue on. And that gets you a buttonhole, which is like kind of hard. I mean, they're all kind of hard to see, but it's there. And then there's more here. So I think once I block this, hopefully it will be all smooth. But I'm done with my buttonholes now. So now I'm just double knitting back and forth. Yeah, I'm just doing the button band in the creamy yarn. And this is the colours here are almond and croissant. So this is almond that I'm knitting the button band in. And I'm hoping to finish it soon because, to be honest with you, I've done a lot of double knitting and I'm kind of over it. But I definitely would do again. I think that it works. Like, I think that the edges look really nice. Like, it's a bit hard to see on camera, I think, but it just sort of follows up that edge. Like, the stitches kind of match up. And yeah, I do really like the way that's looking. That's my first whip, work in progress. Now my next one is my Moby sweater. I don't know why I keep forgetting what they're called. And apparently I'm ready to do the next row. So, Moby sweater, I've had a lot of progress. I have finished the body and done the neck. And I'm onto a sleeve. I finished the body and I made my boyfriend try it on, and I think it fits well, but then I got all stressed because I measured the body and it's like a full 5 centimeters shorter than petite knit tells you to knit it. This is the size small. So I'm a bit worried about that, but I think I'm going to finish the sleeves and the body. I finished the body. Finish that sleeve, this sleeve and the other sleeve, and get him to, and block it and get him to try it on again. And then if it's too short, then I will at least then only have to undo one Italian bind off and knit it a bit more. And that's fine with me. I just like the idea of, I really felt like the body was going on forever. And I don't know if it's because it's a man's sweater and because all the things I make are cropped, so they finish a lot earlier, or if just like, even if I wasn't making something cropped, I think it would still be shorter than his. But yeah, it feels like I have to hold it up a long way. I haven't done anything special other than I've put a bit of elastic in the neckline just because that's what I do. I did do, was it on these instructions? I always forget. I think it's these instructions where you do 3 rounds of double knitting to turn the neck, which I think is cool. I think A is like a cool concept and B pretty straightforward. And then I knit it down, which looks nice. And now I'm working on the body, the sleeve, and I don't think I have made any glaring errors yet. We've got a nice cable, but I think we have got a lot more cabling to go. I think there's at least the same number of sleeve cables as there are body cables, so I think that's 19 at least, and I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've done 5. So yeah, this is knit in Sandnes Garn Pia Gynt, in like the denim blue colour. It's like 5243 or something. I'll find out what it actually is, write it down. And other than, as I've mentioned many times, my minor error on the back, which you can only barely see, like with my ribbing, I've made no other changes other than length, and I think length, other than like armpit length, I think the rest of it you should really try on to see. But yeah, so that is my Moby sweater man. I guess, yeah, I am knitting the Moby sweater man pattern. I was trying to get it done for my holiday this week, but I clearly have not succeeded, and I cannot knit these sleeves in the space of what day is it? It's Tuesday. We leave on Friday. I can't do it in 2 days. My next work in progress, I have a lot of progress on actually. This is my Lyon sweater, also by Petite Knit. And here's where we're at. The yarns I am using are, this is the merino, the Sandnes Garn Sunday, Petite Knit colorway 1012. I think it's like whipped cream or one of the white ones. And I'm holding it with Zakami yarns. It's either Parnassum or Exordium. I think it's Parnassum, which looks just very white there. But hopefully you can kind of see that it's like, it's got little bits of color, which just make it like just not a completely white sweater. It looks all grey in the camera, but they're like purple and green and blue and stuff. I have about 10 rows left of the yoke before I split for sleeves. And I've just about finished my first ball of the Sunday. For which I bought 6. I think I will use 5 or 6. I will be a bit bummed if I use 5, because that's my current pet peeve, is how much like balls, like a full ball I have left over. But yeah, sorry, unrelated. I am very happy with how this is going. I think it looks really nice. I really like I think the increases look really snazzy. And yeah, I'm just very happy with it. The thing that I am excited to do for the first time on this one, which I have not done, that I'm excited to do for the first time is helical knitting. So I think I don't know why I didn't just do it once I started going in the round, because that would have been straightforward. So I think I'm just gonna, when I finish this ball, for no apparent reason, I'm gonna start then. And I need to twist up another ball of the Parnassum. I hope it is the Parnassum. But I am a little bit worried about like doing it, so making sure that I have them both on the body when I need to split for the body. So I think I'm going to join it like in the middle of the back, because I only have 10 more rows, so that's only 5 rows with each colour. So I'm hoping that will be fine. But yeah, so I'm going to do that. I think I'll probably spin up the yarn after this actually, so I can get started. But I am really happy with how it's looking so far. And then I think once I get a little bit further on, I might also, oh yeah, no, that's what I was going to do. I was going to spin up the other ball. Then I was going to do the neckline, just so it's done. Because that also like changes the way it looks a lot, I think. And then I was going to add the other ball to, like, not add it to here, but join it in next to this, so that I was good to go. But yeah, very happy with how it's going. I think it's going to be super soft and cozy, because it's a merino and a not sugar baby alpaca, Suri alpaca, which is just so soft and nice. Yeah, that is my Lyon sweater. Petite knit pattern, knitting a size small, knitting it with my grandma, who has already split for sleeves and is way ahead of me. But that's just the way it is. But yeah, that's that. I have not made a lot of progress on this one, but this is my last whip to tell you about. And as it were, I'm in the middle of a row. This is I actually always get confused between these two tops. This is the twist loop top by Other Loops. And as I said, I'm in the middle of a row. Oops. Just gonna try and do that. And I really wanted to get it joined in the round, but I got a bit waylaid by finishing my sister's socks and my dad's beanie, and then over Christmas I was trying to catch up to my grandma. And also just like spending time with family and not knitting all the time. not true. But yeah, this is in Knitting for Olive Merino in the colour Dusty Artichoke. I'm knitting it on 3mm needles, and I'm in the middle of the back, and I think, yeah, I've got to do a bit more of the back and then join in the round. And it was my goal to get it joined in the round before this video, and clearly I did not succeed. But I'm really excited for when I finally get this top, like, to wear, because I just think it looks really nice. It's just so cool. I'm knitting a size small, and I made a change to make the shoulder bits a bit wider. But other than that, I'm following the pattern, and I just like the increases are really nice, and I really like the way it like adds, like, do you see how it's just like adding these? I just think it looks so snazzy. So yeah, this is my twist loops top. I don't really have much to tell you about it because I've made very little progress, and it's going pretty well, and I haven't had any major dramas other than working on other things like the, you know, just, yeah, working on everything else. I've done a lot on the Lyon sweater, as you can tell. So those are all of my whips, but I do have a new cast on, and okay, I am personally of the view that I have too many whips, but I also, but I also have, I consider my train knitting to be kind of separate from my other knitting, because it needs to be small and portable and easy. Like, I can't be doing anything too complicated. I probably could do that twist loops top. Anyway, but I was getting close to finishing my socks, and I thought I could cast on another pair of socks, and I do want to, but I also said that I would knit my uncle a beanie for Christmas. Like, I gave him the yarn for Christmas and said I would knit him the beanie, and he is going on a trip in March, I think, where it's going to be cold, and he would love, I'm sure he would love to have his beanie for that. And so I thought, if I can cast this on and get it ready for like me to knit on the train, then this is super easy train and meeting knitting, because it's just plain stockinette for like more than this. I don't know, I need to measure it, and I also need to work out how much more I need to do. It's plain stockinette. Like, there are steps I need to do when I'm at home. Like, this is the Oslo hat by Petite Knit. I'm knitting a size medium, but I'm doing the same changes that I did for my dad, which are that I'm knitting the brim of the hat 1 centimeter shorter, so I actually knit 2 centimeters less when I'm doing the brim part, and then I knit the actual hat part 1 centimeter shorter. This yarn is a black wattle. This is a black wattle yarns, which is a Canberra based hand dyer. This is their Dianella 8 ply, and this is the color Khaki Green. And it's 65% merino, 20% bamboo. I'm confused because that doesn't add to 100. That is very confusing. 65% superwash merino, 20% natural bamboo. What else is the other 15%? It might be alpaca, because it's an alpaca yarn place. That's what the thing looks like. Open that up. That's very confusing. Anyway, it's their Dianella 8 ply. The color is khaki green, and it's mostly merino, and it has some bamboo, and 15% unknown. But yes, so knitting a medium. My favorite way to do Oslo hats, and I've now done, this is my third one, and while I was at home, I helped my mum cast on one for my sister, well, my sister was knitting some of it and my mum was knitting some of it, but I helped her cast on to do that one, and then my mum's now also knitting. We've gone Oslo hat crazy. I think because they look quite nice and they're sort of relatively easy, and you can do some things like this to make them really cool. So I have done a provisional crochet cast on where I crocheted however many stitches and then picked up through the back loops of the crochet and started knitting. And then once I get to the point where it says to fold it and join it, so you sort of, I'm going to fold this under, fold that under and join it on this side, then I can undo the crochet cast on and those stitches will be live, and then I can knit two together. And so it looks really snazzy. That's what I did on my Oslo hat. That was all a whole mess, that conversation. But yeah, I do really like the way it looks, just like with the crochet cast on. I reckon I could just knit something with that, and that would be a vibe too. But anyway, I think I'm more than halfway through the brim. And yeah, it's excellent tray knitting and meeting knitting. I don't even have to look at it. Like I was in a meeting with one of my colleagues, another grad at the company I work for, and I contacted him afterwards and I was like, oh, could you tell that I was knitting? Because my boss is okay with it, but I don't want to sit there like looking at my knitting. So I'll just like have it down here, and so it means that I can pay attention and I've got something to do, so that I'm, don't, otherwise I fiddle, or like it's just too easy to like pull up the work you're doing or like get distracted. But I think it would be better to have something to do with my hands and to be paying more attention to the people talking in the meeting. Anyway, but I really like this color. It's a hand-dyed yarn, and I feel like it's got just like a bit of depth of color that's really lovely. And the bamboo does mean that like it feels a bit sturdy, but it's really nice. So yeah, that is my new cast on, which I think only half counts, and I think will also be done pretty soon, and I'll send it off to him, and then I will cast on another sock. But yeah, so those are all of my works in progress. Oh no, that's not true. That's not true, I've missed one. Hold, I will be back. I missed this one because in the last couple of episodes, I hadn't made any progress. Okay, but now I have, because this has been my at-home meeting knitting, because I only go into the office sometimes. And this is my Elizabeth blouse in the Sugar Baby Alpaca by Wool and the Gang in the colour Earthy Orange, and it's very saggy because it's alpaca. That also will make it very soft, and it's looking so cute. And I've joined in I've split for sleeves, and I reckon I've done 2 centimeters since I last filmed, because I had only just joined, since I last included this in a video, because I had only just joined it in the round, I think, last time, and then it was in my don't care bin, but now it's back, and I really do want to finish it. But I think the wool is just like, because it's now been knit twice, it's just like a little bit funky. Even though I undid it and washed it and hung it to dry in like a skein and then rewound it. In fact, I rewound this twice, because I rewound it hand by hand, and then when I got my ball winder for my birthday, I rewound it again because I loved using my ball winder. So this is my Elizabeth blouse. I am knitting a size small, but I'm knitting it on 3.5mm needles because I just liked the way the fabric looked. And there are a few spots where you can see where I did joins in the past that like look a bit weird. Specifically this one. But luckily that is the underside of the collar. And I chose to use, I had like a very small amount that I'd never knit with, and so I started the collar with that stuff. Excuse me. But yeah, this is my Elizabeth blouse, and I do love it. I think I probably will have to sew up the V a bit, just because I'm not a big V-neck person, so like a super deep V will probably not work for me, but think overall I'm very looking forward to this being done, which is why it's become my new at-home knitting. Because yeah, this is another one I don't have to think about. Particularly, I think it helps that it's only one like yarn, whereas my Lyon cardigan is multiple yarns, and it's just like the Surrey behaves a little bit differently than I think I like remember/expect. But anyway, it's my forgotten whip. I was going to mention whips that I haven't made any progress on, including and not limited to my Semper Slip-Over V-neck. And I am all ready to go to the next stage, and I'm just waiting for my friend, and I have legitimately been pestering her like every other day, like, have you done any knitting? Today looks like a good day for knitting. I mean, we live in different cities, so I've got no idea. But it was raining in Melbourne one day, and I was like, it's raining. Don't you want to be inside and do some knitting? So I think she's maybe getting there, but we'll see. That one, I guess, will languish until until she gets up to it, but hopefully I will finish it this year. But yeah, those are all of my whips. And now for my new yarn acquisitions. I have two. The first one, well, I suppose I have three of this. Excuse the plastic. 3. I'm very excited about this. I'm so excited. This is the Pasley Knits New Zealand collection Milky Way in her Swimming Surrey alpaca, which is, no, just Swimming Surrey, which is 74% baby Surrey alpaca, 26% silk. And it's just so nice. I am so excited about it. I've got to be honest with you, when people have themed collections, and this must, like, obviously they do the themes because that's how they get inspired, but surely they know that, like, if they just did a non-themed collection, I'd be like, wow, that's so nice. I don't need to buy yarn every month. But instead, they'll do these like cool collections. This was the New Zealand collection. And I went to New Zealand to visit a friend of mine last year, and we had a really lovely time. And I was like, the New Zealand collection. It will remind me of my trip. I must buy it. But unfortunately, all of the collections, this is like how I feel about horoscopes, where like, if you just read a random horoscope, you can be like, it applies to me. It feels like all the collections. I've got Surrey alpaca in my mouth. I feel like all of the collections apply to me. And they're so nice, and they're just like so fun. Anyway, this particular one I bought. I'm currently trying to stop myself from buying all the yarn all the time, because I want to be able to knit all my yarn. And so I feel like if I can sort myself out and knit the yarn that I have, then I could buy yarn when I get inspired, and then, yeah, you know what I mean? Anyway, so that is how I'm going. That is one of my acquisitions. I'm very excited. It arrived after Christmas. Felt like another Christmas. And I have got some merino on order, like as in it's coming, to hold with it. And I'm going to knit a sweater. And I think probably I will knit the Monday sweater or the Lyon sweater, because I just feel like one of those like simpler designs can show off the yarn really nicely, but then also have to think about and also means I don't have to buy another pattern, but then, you know, sometimes it can also be nice to branch out and try other patterns. So I don't know, that's what I'm thinking so far. But once the other yarn comes and I cast off a few projects, I can think about this. And my last acquisition is some yarn that my brother bought me for Christmas, which is a bold call, and this is not the first time he bought me yarn for Christmas, actually. I'll talk about this, and then I'll talk about the other time he bought me yarn. So this yarn is from Toil and Trouble hand-dyed yarns, and this is the colour Soli Sombra, I think, and it's a sock yarn. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 423 meters per this skein, and it's a lovely icy blue with some speckles of a darker blue, and then some reds and pinks. And the yarn, it's from Salem. So I guess he went to Salem and saw yarn, and now all I do is talk about yarn and wear yarn and knit all the time. But I thought it was really sweet. Anyway, hand dyed in small batches by Fibre Witches, which I think is awesome. But yeah, so that's this yarn. But the other time, I'm very excited about this. I will knit socks with it. I might wind it up to knit my next socks. I don't know. I have to decide what my next train knitting is going to be, because I'm, more than halfway through that beanie and I've only been doing it for a week. The other time he bought me yarn, I hadn't done any knitting, so it must have been like 2018. I hadn't even shown any signs of knitting, so it was very forward thinking of him. I still have Surrey alpaca in my mouth. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't watch, but no offense to him. It was horrendous. It was just it was some weird, it was both dark and way too colourful for my liking. And I just was like, this is not the vibe. Anyway, I think it's at home in Canberra, having never been knit on. Sorry about that. I will say, buying yarn for someone out of the blue is a rogue choice. And I think he did well this time. So we'll knit it into socks and we'll see how it looks. But yeah, that's that. Anyway, that is all I have to tell you about. Thank you so much for watching if you've made it to the end. If you did make it to the end, what? I was about to say thanks so much for watching. Regardless, I hope you are having a lovely day if it's the middle of the day, or looking forward to a great day if it's the beginning, like me. I have to go to work now. And yeah, look, I think I'll film again early February, so I will post in the middle of February, I guess. But yeah, I just posted my 2023 roundup, so I might leave this one for like a week. Anyway, but yeah, hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.